Welcome, little dreamers, to Bedtime Tales Studio. Tonight we invite you on a peaceful journey beneath a silver moon, where glowing flowers whisper gentle secrets and every thankful heart brings new magic to Dreamworld. So snuggle into your warm blanket, close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath, and let your imagination gently carry you into another wonderful adventure with Oliver and Baba Bear. The night had wrapped Dreamworld in its soft, shimmering blanket of moonlight. Above the peaceful forest, the stars sparkled like tiny lanterns hanging from the velvet sky. A gentle breeze danced through the tall pine trees, carrying the sweet fragrance of wildflowers across the quiet hills. The little stream beside Oliver's cottage sang its familiar lullaby as it flowed over smooth silver stones. Everything looked calm, everything looked peaceful, yet something was missing. Oliver stood by his bedroom window, holding his favorite little lantern. Every evening, colorful flowers surrounded his cottage. They glowed softly beneath the moon. Blue blossoms, golden lilies, tiny silver daisies, pink moon roses. Tonight, their light was fading. The flowers drooped gently toward the earth as though they were feeling sleepy before their time. Even the butterflies rested quietly without opening their shimmering wings. Oliver watched them for a long moment. "I've never seen them like this." Behind him, Baba Bear carefully poured warm honey tea into 2 little cups. He walked beside Oliver and looked through the window. Instead of worry, a gentle smile appeared on his kind face. "Dreamworld is whispering." Oliver looked up. "What is it trying to say?" Baba Bear wrapped his soft blue scarf around his neck. "Sometimes flowers speak without words." Oliver smiled. "I wish I could understand them." Baba Bear placed a warm paw on Oliver's shoulder. "Perhaps tonight you will." Just then, Oliver's lantern glowed brighter all by itself, not with a strong light, with a warm, welcoming glow. Oliver smiled. "It always does that when Dreamworld needs help." Baba Bear nodded. "And tonight someone or something is waiting." Oliver slipped on his little boots. He carefully opened the cottage door. The cool night air greeted them like an old friend. Owls watched peacefully from the branches above. Fireflies drifted through the forest like tiny floating stars. Far away, a fox quietly curled into its cozy den. Everything felt wonderfully peaceful. Then, a single glowing flower petal floated gently through the air. It drifted in front of Oliver's face. It circled his lantern once, then slowly floated toward the forest. Another petal appeared, then another. Soon dozens of glowing petals danced together, forming a shimmering path through the trees. "They're showing us the way," Oliver whispered. Baba Bear smiled. "They've been waiting for us." Together they followed the glowing trail. The forest welcomed them with gentle sounds. Leaves rustled softly. Crickets played their tiny nighttime songs. The stars peeked through the branches above like curious friends. The farther they walked, the brighter the petals became. Soon they reached a little wooden bridge crossing a crystal-clear stream. Oliver stopped. The water looked different tonight. Instead of reflecting only the moon, tiny glowing words floated gently across its surface. Oliver knelt beside the stream. The words slowly drifted past him. "Thank you, welcome, please, good night, I'm happy you're here." Each kind word shimmered before disappearing beneath the water. Oliver smiled. "The stream is carrying kind words." Baba Bear nodded. "Kind words travel farther than we ever imagine." Oliver watched another glowing phrase float by. "You are loved." The words made his heart feel warm. "I wish everyone could see this." Baba Bear looked toward the flowing water. "Perhaps they already do." Oliver tilted his head. "But nobody is here." Baba Bear smiled gently. "Kindness leaves little ripples. Sometimes we never see where they reach." Oliver thought quietly about those words. He remembered helping the little squirrel find its golden acorn. He remembered comforting the robin who had forgotten its song. Perhaps every kind thing we do continues traveling long after we have forgotten it. The thought made Oliver smile. They crossed the little bridge and continued deeper into the forest. The trees slowly became taller. Silver moss covered their trunks. Tiny glowing mushrooms lit the path beneath their feet. The air smelled of fresh rain, pine needles, and blooming flowers. Everything around them seemed alive with gentle magic. Suddenly, Oliver heard soft sniffles. He looked around. Near the roots of an enormous oak tree sat a little hedgehog. Its tiny backpack rested beside it. Its eyes looked full of tears. Oliver walked over carefully. "Hello." The hedgehog looked up. "Oh, hello, you seem sad." The little hedgehog nodded. "I wanted to bring berries to my grandmother." Oliver noticed the basket. It was empty. "I dropped them while climbing the hill. I searched everywhere. I couldn't find them. I'm afraid she'll think I forgot her." Oliver sat beside the little hedgehog. He didn't rush to solve the problem. Instead, he quietly asked, "Tell me about your grandmother." The hedgehog smiled through watery eyes. "She always tells bedtime stories. She makes warm berry pie. She hugs me every time I visit." Oliver smiled. "It sounds like she loves you very much." The little hedgehog nodded. "Very much." Baba Bear gently looked around the forest floor. Tiny blue birds suddenly fluttered down from nearby branches. Each bird carried one little berry, then another bird arrived. Soon rabbits joined them. A family of squirrels rolled berries through the grass. Even a sleepy turtle slowly carried 2 berries balanced carefully upon its shell. Within a few minutes, the basket was overflowing. The little hedgehog gasped, "You all helped me." One elderly squirrel smiled kindly. "You always share your berries with us during winter. Tonight we wanted to thank you." The hedgehog's eyes sparkled. "I didn't know anyone remembered." Oliver looked at Barber Bear. Barber Bear smiled knowingly. Kindness is never forgotten. At that very moment, the empty patch of grass beside the oak tree shimmered. Tiny green shoots pushed gently through the soil. Then, one by one, beautiful moonflowers blossomed, blue, pink, white, golden. Their petals glowed brighter than moonlight itself. Oliver watched in amazement. They bloomed because everyone remembered kindness. The breeze carried the sweet fragrance across the forest. The little hedgehog carefully hugged every animal. "Thank you," as those 2 simple words echoed through the trees. Even more flowers opened. The forest became brighter than before. Far away, Oliver thought he saw something shining beyond the hills. It looked like an enormous garden glowing beneath the moon. Barber Bear followed Oliver's gaze. "I think we're getting closer." Oliver's lantern shone brighter. The floating petals once again gathered before them, dancing happily through the night. Somewhere ahead, the mysterious garden where Thank You bloomed was waiting. Oliver and Barber Bear continued following the trail of glowing petals. The moon climbed a little higher into the sky, spreading silver light across every hill and tree. The peaceful forest slowly opened into a wide valley unlike any Oliver had ever seen. Thousands of tiny lights floated through the air. At first, Oliver thought they were stars. Then he realized they were glowing flower seeds drifting gently on the breeze like little wishes. They never hurried. They simply floated wherever the night carried them. The sweet scent of jasmine and moon roses filled the cool air. Oliver smiled. "It feels like the whole valley is breathing." Barber Bear nodded softly. "Every living thing has its own quiet song." As they walked farther, the valley became brighter. Soon they reached an ancient stone arch covered with climbing vines. Golden flowers wrapped around every stone. Silver butterflies rested peacefully among the blossoms. Above the archway were beautiful glowing words. The garden where Thank You bloomed. The gates slowly opened without making a sound. Oliver stepped inside. He stopped at once. The garden stretched farther than he could see. Crystal streams wound between colorful flower beds. Tiny wooden bridges crossed the sparkling water. Butterflies danced lazily from flower to flower. Birds sang peaceful songs that blended perfectly with the whispering breeze. Every flower glowed with its own gentle light. Some sparkled blue like the evening sky. Others glowed pink, purple, golden, or snowy white. It looked as though the stars themselves had come down to rest upon the earth. But among all the beauty, Oliver noticed many empty spaces. Large patches of dark soil waited quietly. No flowers grew there. The empty places made the garden seem lonely. An elderly woman wearing robes woven from silver moonlight walked slowly toward them. Her long white hair shimmered beneath the stars. Small blue birds rested peacefully upon her shoulders. She smiled with eyes full of kindness. "Welcome, Oliver. Welcome, Barber Bear." Oliver bowed politely. "Are you the keeper of this beautiful garden?" She nodded. "I am the moon gardener. For many years I have cared for every flower that blooms here." Oliver looked around once more. "Why are so many places empty?" The moon gardener sighed gently. "Long ago, children visited this garden every evening. They came after helping a friend, after thanking their parents, after sharing a toy, after noticing the little blessings around them. Every thankful heart planted another flower." She gently touched the nearest blossom. But as time passed, many became too busy. They hurried through their days. They forgot to notice the kindness already surrounding them, so fewer flowers bloomed. Oliver felt sadness in his heart. "I don't want the garden to disappear." The moon gardener smiled. "I knew you would say that." She handed Oliver a tiny silver watering can. It felt almost weightless. Oliver looked inside. "There isn't any water." She smiled. "It is filled with gratitude." Oliver blinked. How can gratitude help flowers grow? The moon gardener knelt beside a small patch of empty earth. "Watch." Just then a young rabbit approached carrying a basket of carrots. Before eating, the rabbit quietly whispered, "Thank you for this wonderful food." Immediately, a tiny green sprout appeared. Then a bright yellow flower slowly opened. Oliver's eyes grew wide. "It really works." The moon gardener nodded. "This garden listens to thankful hearts." Oliver smiled brightly. "I want to help." For the rest of the evening, Oliver and Barber Bear walked through the garden, welcoming every visitor. A young robin landed on a fence. Oliver asked, "What are you thankful for?" The robin sang, "I'm thankful for my wings because they let me greet every sunrise." A bright blue flower bloomed. A family of squirrels arrived. They smiled and said, "We're thankful for our warm tree that keeps us safe." 3 golden lilies opened together. An old tortoise slowly reached the garden. He looked toward the moon. "I'm thankful for every new morning." Soft purple flowers blossomed all around him. A shy little fox whispered, "I'm thankful for my friends because they never leave me behind." Pink roses opened across the path. Soon the garden became brighter than ever before. Children from nearby villages quietly arrived with their parents. Some were thankful for bedtime stories, some were thankful for warm hugs, some were thankful for rainy days that helped flowers grow. Others were thankful simply because someone had smiled at them. Every grateful heart filled another corner of the garden with beautiful blossoms. The valley sparkled with color. Butterflies returned. Honeybees hummed happily. Even the breeze carried a joyful melody. Oliver laughed softly. "I've never seen Dreamworld so beautiful." The moon gardener smiled. "The most beautiful magic begins inside the heart." At the very center of the garden stood one tiny unopened flower. Unlike the others, its petals were silver. It rested quietly beneath a crystal tree. The moon gardener became very still. "This is the heart blossom. It blooms only once each year." Oliver stepped closer. "What makes it bloom?" She looked kindly into his eyes. "It opens only when someone is thankful for something that cannot be touched." Oliver sat quietly beneath the crystal tree. He thought about his lantern, his cozy cottage, his favorite books, his warm bed. Then he gently shook his head. Those were wonderful things, but they were not the answer. He looked toward Barber Bear. He remembered every adventure they had shared, every comforting hug, every lesson, every peaceful walk beneath the stars. He looked up at the moon. He listened to the breeze. Then he closed his eyes. Softly he whispered, "Thank you for my family. Thank you for Barber Bear. Thank you for every friend. Thank you for peaceful nights. Thank you for hope, thank you for love, and thank you for dreams that help children smile." For one long, peaceful moment, Dreamworld became completely still. The wind stopped, the birds became silent, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. Then, the tiny silver flower slowly began to open, one glowing petal, then another and another. Golden light spread across the entire valley. Every flower bloomed together. Blue flowers, golden flowers, purple flowers, pink flowers, white flowers. The whole garden shimmered beneath the moonlight like a sea of tiny stars. Thousands of glowing seeds floated gently into the sky. They rose higher and higher until they became bright new stars. The moon gardener smiled with tears of joy. "The garden will bloom for many years to come." Oliver smiled. It wasn't magic that saved the garden. She nodded. It was grateful hearts. Barber Bear wrapped his warm arm around Oliver. "You have reminded Dreamworld that happiness grows when we notice the blessings already around us." Oliver looked across the glowing valley one last time. He knew he would never forget it. As they began walking home, the flowers gently swayed in the breeze. The butterflies danced through the moonlight. The little stream sang its peaceful lullaby. When they reached their cozy cottage, Oliver placed his lantern beside the window. Inside it, one tiny golden flower seed glowed softly, a reminder that gratitude could bloom anywhere. He climbed into bed. Barber Bear tucked the blanket around him with a gentle smile. Oliver yawned. "What was the greatest treasure we found tonight?" Barber Bear whispered, "A thankful heart." Oliver smiled. "I think I'll say thank you a little more often." Outside, the moon smiled over Dreamworld. The garden where thank you bloomed shimmered peacefully in the distance, filling the night with hope, kindness, and quiet joy. Oliver closed his eyes. His breathing became slow and peaceful. Soon he drifted into the sweetest dreams, where every flower whispered two simple words: "Thank you." Cherry blossom, tonight's Dreamworld lesson: a thankful heart sees treasures that others often overlook. When we appreciate the little blessings in life, kindness grows, friendships become stronger, and happiness blooms wherever we go. Thank you for joining us on another magical adventure with Bedtime Tales Studio. If you enjoyed tonight's story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another peaceful journey through Dreamworld. Until we meet again, may your heart stay grateful, your dreams stay bright, and your nights be filled with wonder. Good night, little dreamers, sweet dreams, crescent sparkles.